today, Hunter Biden appeared in a Delaware courthouse to formally agree to a deal he negotiated last month, his attorneys with the federal prosecutors, in what was supposed to bring a close to the Justice Department's year-long probe into Hunter Biden's business affairs. And it's murky. The laptop, nobody really knows. But it broke down. And now it appears that the Hunter Biden plea deal, if it didn't fall apart, it's in jeopardy of falling apart. Let's start there with Stephen Portnoy, ABC News national correspondent, who's been covering this all day long. Stephen, thanks for your time here at the top of the show. Well, what's the latest and what happened?
Well, what happened is the whole thing unraveled in the courtroom in Wilmington, Delaware today. A surprise to both parties that Judge Mary Ellen Noreika would start asking questions about this agreement to have Hunter Biden plead guilty to 2 misdemeanor tax-related offenses, an agreement that prosecutors would set aside a felony gun charge. The judge started asking questions about the scope of any kind of immunity deal that Hunter Biden believed he was striking with prosecutors. And in particular, she asked questions about whether Hunter Biden might face ongoing legal liability even after this proceeding. Hunter Biden and his attorney said it was their understanding that the plea deal would end the federal probe, but prosecutors signaled otherwise. And that's when things started to unravel in real time in the Wilmington federal courtroom.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I thought the gun case was the trouble. Am I right in that, and that the judge did not want to preside over that?
Well, the particular question is whether the immunity for the gun charge might be broader than that. And the particular question that she asked was, and this is interesting, whether there might be a case that the prosecution could bring, that the Justice Department could bring, having to do with the Foreign Agents Registration Act, or FARA. It has to do with lobbying for foreign entities. And the law says that if you take money for a foreign entity, a foreign government in particular, and you're here in the United States to lobby on behalf of that foreign government, you don't register with the Justice Department, then you've committed a crime. And it has been suggested, particularly by congressional Republicans, that some of what Hunter Biden did in his business dealings over the years benefited some of those foreign entities, maybe even foreign governments, and he didn't register as he may have been supposed to. So that, when the question was put to prosecutors today about whether there might be a FARA investigation or prosecution, and the prosecutors, when asked, said, well, yes, that put the Hunter Biden defense attorneys on their heels. And the prosecutors indicated that they might have something to look into, and the defense attorney said, well, we don't have a deal here. And the judge said, I'm not going to rubber stamp this. We're going to give both parties 30 days to work this out and come back to the table with an agreement. What the language is locked down, ironclad, more specific, and there isn't any ambiguity. And so what everyone thought was going to be a pretty open and shut situation today in that federal courtroom in Wilmington wound up being highly dramatic and prolonged. In the end, it's not resolved. So for the moment, sort of as a placeholder, I think, Hunter Biden has entered a not guilty plea to those 2 misdemeanor tax offenses, which he could change. And the judge has given both sides about a month to come up with another agreement.
And just to be clear, Stephen, both the judge and the DOJ's special counsel appointed by Donald Trump.
Well, the U.S. attorney, and not a special counsel, but the U.S. attorney for the District of Delaware was a Trump appointee, and so too was the district court judge who was presiding over the matter, but given the dynamics of Senate confirmation, was probably not objected to by the 2 Democratic senators from Delaware. So this is someone who is respected by both sides and has been rumored to be someone who's on a short list for potential circuit court appointment during the Biden presidency.
Stephen Portnoy, thank you very much for popping on. At short notice, we appreciate it.
You bet.
Take care.